Hey guys, this is I know you're tired of the non-Fords on the Ford factory, but things happen. This is a 2013 Subaru Crosstrek. It's a friend of mine, and his motor started using oil, but it wasn't smoking and it wasn't leaking. There's, I guess, some O-rings in the FB20s motors that go near the oil, and it was in the coolant, and so it sucked the oil into the coolant, or the oil was pushed into the coolant. Not a blown head gasket, it was some O-rings. And so the dealership, he took it to the dealership to figure it out because it was freaking every sensor out. And they said it was ridiculously expensive. So they pulled the motor to do some warranty work on the heads, which they did so they could get paid. But the motor, they said, was at its mechanical extreme, plus there was no really making it 100% after it had all that oil in the coolant. I mean, everywhere in the motor, all the way through the motor and everything. Anyway, so my buddy ordered a 50,000 mile motor off of LKQ, and that's this. Unfortunately, it came, they set it down a little hard, so we're gonna have to replace this cover. So we cleaned up his cover inside and out, and then we're swapping the parts. And then we've got this 3-bond from Subaru. They said that's what to use. Looks like gray RTV to me, and an O-ring kit. So we're going to swap the cover. Also, where's the oil pan over here. Got a dent in it right here. I don't trust it. I mean, it might be fine, but we went ahead and pulled his oil pan off, cleaned it up. So he's getting these seals that go here. So we're going to do the oil pan and cover, get them sealed up, and then clean the stall out. Oh, and also put the harness on. The harness was one number off. Let me see if I can show you that. So the harness was one number off, and I'm not sure if it's good. So this one's off of the car motor, ends in 60. This one is off of the LKQ motor, ends in 61. I do not know what the difference is, and I'm not going to take a chance. So we pulled that harness off, and we're going to put it on after we get the cover swapped. We were going to try and do this last night. We ran out of time. Anyway, so here we're going to swap this cover, swap the oil pan, get them glued on, put the harness on, clean that guy up, and try and get the motor in today. Nice. The cool thing is the dealership pulled the motor for them because they were going to replace it, and then they're like, the cost was prohibited. It was like $13,000 or something, more than the car's worth. Anyway, that's what we're doing today. And just so you know, or so you can see, on this motor, as in most Subarus, right here is where the engine code is. It's a FB Frank Boy 20. I don't know if you can see that for sure, but yep, there it is. Anyway, yeah, that's what we're doing. I'll when I get the time, all the swap stuff pulled off and go to glue it, I'll show you. It's not a gasket, by the way. It's the 3-bond. It's like a silicone type sealant. So if you call and ask for a gasket, they're going to give you these O-ring kits and say, oh, there it is. But the 3-bond was like $65. So hopefully it's something special. He wanted to do it right and not take any chances with leaks, because it was the old motor, as you can see, was leaking pretty dadgum good. So with 100,000, he's got 150,000 on the car, and the new motor's only got 50. So he's, mechanically, motor-wise, saving 100,000 for, I think the motor was $900, something like that, from LKQ. Anyway, that's what we're doing. All right, we're fixing to put the oil pan on. I got the new seals. Oh, I put the old seals over the new seals. That's good. I'm glad I checked that. The new seals on, or just the one. All right, new seals on, in case you want to know. Oil pan sealing ring, you'll need 2 of them. Notice quantity 1. All right, now we've got the old oil pan off. All the goo is cleaned up. I'm gonna hit this real quick and then just gonna slap it on. Again, we're using the 3-bond. So we're gonna do the oil pan, and then once this is already open, we're gonna go ahead and do the front cover. Got all these bolts cleaned up as good as we can, and this is the old cover, so that's our bolt placement. This guy's got all his parts swapped. New seal here. We've got our O-rings inserted here. Now I don't have this came loose. This O-ring didn't have a part number, but you need 3 of the little ones, which are right there. There's 3 of them. One here, one here, one here, and then the big one. Yeah. We're not going to mess with the timing or the timing change. This thing's only got 50,000, so it's got another 50,000 for what's required. So we're not going to mess with it. All right, well, we'll get her done. All right, so got this stuff all the way around, and turn the 5 internals there, and there, and there, and then all the way around. I already got the oil pan on. We torqued these to 12 foot-pounds, 144 inch-pounds. I don't know. Looks like the seal's all the way around, squeezed out and everything, so looks like everything's good. I couldn't find torque specs, so it is what it is. These were going to go to 15 foot-pounds. They're a little bit bigger. Those are 12s. So on the oil pan was 10s. Oh, anyway, here we go. All right, so as you saw, what we did was we kind of cheated a little bit so we wouldn't have to remember anything. We put, this is the broken pan, or the timing cover. We put all the bolts as we took them off of this motor. We put them in exactly where they came out. So then when we went back to put them in, all we had to do is 1-for-1 transfer. We torqued these. These are not torque specs that are official, but judging by the size is what I decided. So torque these to 15 foot-pounds. We torqued these to 10 foot-pounds. That's a 10 millimeter, that's a 12 millimeter. So I think that's kind of standard for metrics, but it's Subaru, who knows. Anyway, so now we're going to let this set. We're going to put the wiring harness on and then start building up the front, and then pull this car out, pull the other car in, get it up there and get ready to drop it in. So we're going to try and let this set as much as we can today. We wanted to let it set for 24 hours, but I don't know. We might not try and start it until tomorrow. Who knows? We'll see. Well, we got it in there. Yeah, it's had a little problem though. When they pulled the motor at the dealership, the CV axle was overextended and it shoved the transmission over that way about 3 inches. So we fought it for about an hour and a half trying to figure out what was going on, and then finally figured out that the CV axle needs to be pulled and replaced, and then it took about 5 minutes to drop the motor down on there. So now it's just put the accessories on, connect everything up. The dealership took it apart, so it's going to be a little bit of an anomaly, you know, finding the right bolts for the right places, but a couple hours worth of poking and prodding, we should be good to go. But we're calling it a day. It's been a long day today, Saturday, so we might have some time to look at it tomorrow. If not, then, you know, we'll look at it next week. You know, this is the way, kind of what we got from the dealership. I mean, they did a pretty good job of organizing stuff, but it's still hard to put stuff together after somebody else took it apart. This is stuff that we did, so we could kind of figure out what we're going on. We got a divider tray. We know where all these parts go. We got a new radiator to replace that one. Look at the oil just dripping out of the radiator. But like I said, the dealership did a pretty good job. You can see they organized stuff relatively nicely, injectors and stuff and all that, but it doesn't do us much good when, you know, we didn't take it apart. We'll figure it out though. It's pretty straightforward. They're simple motors, and we'll see about getting it running tomorrow. Hey guys, so as usual, I forgot to record it starting and running and driving away, but it was just a LKQ replacement motor, so everything went fine. We got it all put back together the rest of the way, and he's been driving it for, I don't know, a good while now, and no problems whatsoever. So anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.